CHICKEN. Use the code CHICKEN in the shop.
Welcome back, guys, to Chicken Clash. I'm your host, The Chicken. Today, we're going to be talking more about Project Rise and if the game has potential to be killed. So, I wanted to talk about this because this is a pattern that we've seen with Supercell for, the last, I think it's been, 6 years. Brawl Stars came out in 2018, and then they obviously just released Squad Busters a few weeks ago, which seems to have some problems. We'll get into that in a minute, but I want to talk about, does Clash Heroes, or Project Rise as it's now called, is it likely going to be killed? Now, the only thing that I'm thinking is Supercell has not been known, and I've been covering, just for a little context, I've been covering Supercell games since 2015. I've had a Boom Beach channel for like 10 years. I've dabbled in a bunch of the other games, and I followed the launch of Brawl Stars the whole way. And yeah, so I mean, I've been in the space for, a decent amount of time, and I don't know, there's something different about Project Rise to me, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a second, but one thing that we've never seen Supercell do is we've never seen them come out with two games at the same time. Now, given that there's a fairly big difference between Squad Busters and Project Rise, like they couldn't be more different games, it wouldn't necessarily shock me, but it is, I feel like it is worth noting that we've never had two games come out globally, like within, I don't know, the same year. Now, I think this is part of Supercell's new MO, because if you guys follow around, the trend of Supercell games and all that stuff, it's been a very long time, aside from Squad Busters, for them to come out with something new. And they kind of touched on that. Every year they do like a yearly kind of announcement or like, company update kind of thing, where they talk about, just the status update, what they've made. They have to do that legally for Finland and stuff. And they talked about wanting to shift gears a little bit, and rather than, being this company of 10 people that only releases absolutely perfect smashing games, that they want to, I don't know if they necessarily said they want to up the production and release more stuff. But that was definitely my takeaway from it, that they were going to, release games that were good games more often. It seemed like that was the direction that they're leading in, which kind of doesn't make sense because they probably should have released Clash Mini if that was the case. But, and Clash Quest, in my opinion, was just as fun. But yeah, it seems like that's kind of the direction they're heading in. Now, at the same time, we're talking about releasing games globally at the same time. Project Rise is definitely not coming global anytime soon, I wouldn't imagine. It's not even in beta yet. I mean, Squad Busters was in beta for a year. This is pre-alpha, so this is the earliest, that the public is basically able to see the game. So there's going to be a lot of changes. Maybe not, a ton of changes, but there's going to be a lot of time before this goes into beta, and then I'm sure it's going to be a beta for at least a little while. And then I think what they need to focus on is making sure the game from alpha to beta, when nobody sees it, is pretty polished. And when it comes into beta, making it like, okay, we're going to give this 4 to 6 weeks and then, press the button. Kind of like how they did with Squad Busters. It's like, okay, it's in beta, and then boom, let's just go global with it. Because when you drag a game out for years on end, like Clash Mini, people stop getting interested in it. And that becomes a problem because when there's new updates in Clash Mini and the game's in beta and nobody cares, and, that doesn't make any headlines or nobody really checks the game out, it hurts the global release announcement, which I believe is extremely important for a new game to have a very strong release and, tens of millions of players checking the game out, whether that's through the App Store, through their other games, through social media, whatever. I think it's very, very, very important to have a lot of hype built up for that release. Like, look at Brawl Stars. Like, they really did that perfectly. Although it wasn't beta for a long time. Brawl Stars was in beta for, like a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. That was their longest game in beta for a while. But they still kind of hyped up the global announcement of it. And they said, like, it was really funny how they did it. They made it look like they were going to kill the game, only to then just turn around and release it anyways. And yeah, everyone was super stoked about that. That was also the only game in beta. They weren't doing this thing like they are now, where they have like, you know, a bunch of games going at the same time. That's why the 3 Clash games announcement back in 2021, as crazy as that was, it was kind of strange because it was a lot to keep up with. And you know, the good news for Project Rise in that is this was the game that was most hyped up. People were always most excited about Clash Heroes. Clash Mini and Clash Quest were kind of like, I don't know, seemed like side projects almost. This one, I think they've really invested their time in, and you know, has obviously the most potential out of the 3 of them, especially. Easy to say now the other 2 are dead, but you know what I mean. So I don't think that this game is going to be killed for a few reasons, and you know, obviously the main reasons being that the game is a lot of fun and the gameplay is good and things are cool, and I like the idea of the game, and I feel like it could appeal to a lot of new players. It's got all the IP of the, you know, the games that most popular games on mobile of all time: Clash Clans, Clash Royale, and Brawl Stars. So, you know, it's got all that going for it, which obviously any, you know, game coming out needs. But it seems like Supercell has become a lot more lenient to just releasing stuff, which is exciting because, you know, we don't want to see this game get killed. And all the feedback I've seen too, like, I mean, you guys out there that have been, you know, keeping up with not necessarily this channel, but my Squad Busters channel, which was Clash Heroes for a long time, which is now what we've done. We've moved that over here basically, but you know, people have kept up with it, and all the feedback that I've seen has been extremely positive, you know, whether it be from the YouTubers or the comment sections. Like, everyone's just hyped up about the game because it's fun, man. It's fun. And, you know, I really like the fact that you can play this with like 3 people, and I don't know if they'll have like an in-game voice chat. I guess that wouldn't really work with mobile. But just being able to hop on like a Discord call, like with 2 friends, and play this, like it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and the cool thing is you don't have to do that. If you just want to play with randoms, or whatever, you know, that it'll still work, and you can. I feel like every mobile game has to have the toilet effect. You got to be able to sit down on the toilet, play a couple games for 3 minutes, and then, you know, make some progress, get in and get out. I don't know exactly how that would work because when I was playing, it was just kind of straight, like going. But I'm sure that's going to be worked into however they, you know, release this game. So, in short, I don't think the game will be killed. Number one, because I think it's a good game and it's got a ton of potential. And yes, there are some issues. We talked about that in the last video, like specifically what the issues were, maybe how to fix them, that kind of thing. So there are some issues for sure, but I feel like they're gonna knock those out of the park because the game is so early on still. So, you know, I think nothing but good things, and the fact that Supercell seems to be releasing more games is why I think Clash Heroes / Project Rise will not be killed. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Do you think the game will be killed? Do you think it won't be killed? Is there something you'd like to see added to it? Interested to hear that. So make sure to leave your comments down below. Appreciate you guys. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You want to stay up to date on everything Project Rise. Check it out. Backpack.